They say every family holds secrets, but some secrets are too big to stay buried. This is the story of a hidden island property that turned whispers of suspicion into a full-blown storm of betrayal, greed, and shocking revelations. Imagine discovering that someone you trusted had been quietly building a life in the shadows, an entire estate tucked away on an island, paid for with money no one knew existed. That discovery didn't just raise eyebrows, it shattered relationships, broke families, and left the courtroom gasping for answers. Welcome to our channel, where we bring you powerful stories of real drama, shocking truths, and unforgettable twists. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next story that could change how you see trust, loyalty, and the human heart. Now, let's dive into this tale of hidden wealth and growing suspicion. It began with a simple slip of the tongue. During a casual family gathering, someone mentioned a getaway island that belonged to one of the wealthiest members of the family. At first, no one paid attention. After all, vacations and properties were common among the elite. But there was something in the way it was said, too casual, too unguarded, that made others lean in. A hidden island, no one had ever heard about this before. Questions began to rise like smoke from a fire. Why had this property never been mentioned? Why was it kept so secret? And most importantly, where had the money come from to buy it? These questions sparked an uncomfortable tension within the family. The more they tried to dismiss it, the more curiosity grew. One person decided to dig deeper, and that decision would ignite a scandal that no one was prepared for. They started with public records, tracing back property ownership, bank transfers, and offshore accounts. At first, it looked like a dead end, but after weeks of searching, a trail appeared. One that led directly to a private island tucked away in turquoise waters, far from the mainland. The property wasn't just a holiday home, it was a sprawling estate, complete with mansions, staff quarters, and even private docks. Someone had spent millions building a secret world. But the paper trail revealed more than just luxury. It exposed hidden accounts, undeclared funds, and transactions that looked suspiciously like they were meant to cover tracks. What was once just a whisper now had evidence. The family was stunned. Confrontations began, accusations flew, and suddenly the air was filled with mistrust. Was this the result of ambition, or was there something darker hiding beneath the surface? Every discovery only raised more questions, and soon the tension escalated beyond family arguments. Lawyers were brought in, and what started as curiosity turned into a legal storm. The hidden island was no longer just a secret retreat. It was a weapon that tore through the bonds of family and put loyalty on trial. And this was only the beginning. The truth about the island was about to shake everything they thought they knew. The family could no longer ignore the truth. The discovery of the hidden island had left everyone restless, and the walls of trust that once held them together were crumbling fast. What baffled them most was not just the secrecy, but the scale of the deception. Millions of dollars had been funneled into accounts no one had ever heard of, and every penny pointed toward this mysterious estate. Whispers turned into accusations. Around the dinner table, voices were raised. Some claimed it was a private investment, something personal that didn't need to be shared. Others argued that hiding an estate of this magnitude was proof of betrayal and dishonesty. The tension grew so heavy that even the simplest conversations spiraled into conflict. Behind closed doors, investigations intensified. Lawyers were now involved, each side arming themselves with documents, witnesses, and whatever evidence they could find. The island was no longer just a secret. It had become the centerpiece of a war for truth. Rumors began to spread that the money used to purchase it wasn't earned honestly. Was it taken from family business funds? Was it hidden from taxes? Or worse, was it tied to something illegal? The accusations cut deeper with every passing day. Those who once stood united now found themselves on opposite sides of an invisible battlefield. The family wasn't just fighting for property anymore, they were fighting for their honor, their reputations, and in some cases, their very survival. The person at the center of the scandal remained oddly silent. While others shouted, argued, and hurled accusations, they sat quietly, refusing to explain. This silence only fueled more suspicion. Why wouldn't they defend themselves? Why wouldn't they tell the truth about where the money came from? As legal documents were filed and subpoenas issued, the scope of the conflict grew wider. Bank officials were questioned, offshore accounts frozen, and investigators pored over records that had been hidden for years. Each new finding added fuel to the fire. The family watched in disbelief as the hidden empire slowly unraveled before their eyes. The press soon caught wind of the scandal, and the story became front-page news. Headlines screamed about betrayal, secret islands, and a family torn apart by greed. Strangers speculated, neighbors gossiped, and suddenly the family's private shame was a public spectacle. Paparazzi camped outside their homes, reporters shouted questions, and every move was scrutinized. The weight of the scandal was unbearable. Long-time friendships cracked, siblings turned against each other, and what once seemed like a strong foundation now looked fragile and broken. The truth was no longer just about one hidden island, it was about everything the family believed in being questioned. And yet the real twist had not even arrived, because just when they thought they knew the worst of it, the new evidence landed like a thunderclap. Tucked away in a dusty folder, buried among financial statements and contracts, was a document that no one had expected to see. A second deed. This wasn't just about one island property. It revealed a chain of hidden purchases, multiple estates, spread across different countries, all tied back to the same mysterious fund. The hidden island was merely the beginning. The discovery left the family reeling. If one secret property had shaken their trust, the revelation of several others shattered it completely. Every assumption they had held was now under suspicion. How could someone so close to them orchestrate something this elaborate without a single slip? It was clear this wasn't the work of chance, but of careful, calculated planning. The family demanded answers, but once again, silence was the response. The person at the center of it all refused to speak, their expression unreadable, their lips sealed tight. That silence became unbearable. Some saw it as guilt, others as arrogance. But everyone agreed it was no longer just a family dispute. This was a full-blown scandal that could end careers, reputations, and legacies. The courtroom became the new battleground. Day after day, lawyers presented evidence, financial transfers, offshore accounts, and testimonies from people who had quietly helped maintain the properties for years. Each revelation was more shocking than the last. The audience gasped as hidden ties to powerful business figures and questionable dealings came to light. And then came the most explosive twist yet. A witness stepped forward, someone no one had expected. A longtime associate of the accused revealed that the properties weren't just luxury hideaways. They were safe houses for meetings, places where deals were struck in secret, away from the public eye. Deals that, if exposed, could topple more than just the family's name. They could expose an entire network of corruption. The room froze. Every eye turned toward the accused. But again, there was no denial. No defense, just silence. That silence, louder than any words, filled the courtroom with dread. Was it the silence of guilt or of someone who knew too much to speak? As the trial stretched on, the scandal seeped into every corner of their lives. Former allies distanced themselves, businesses collapsed, and the family's name became synonymous with deception. The more they tried to protect what was left, the more the truth clawed its way into the light. But beneath all the evidence, beneath all the legal battles, one question still remained unanswered. Why? Why go to such lengths to hide so much? What drove someone to risk everything for secrecy? The answer was coming, but not in the way anyone expected. The courtroom waited in breathless silence as the final piece of evidence was presented. Unlike the financial documents and the testimonies before, this wasn't about money or power. It was about identity. The records revealed that the secret island property, along with the network of hidden estates, was not purchased out of greed, but to hide someone. For years, the accused had been protecting a truth that, if revealed, would have shaken the family's very foundation. A second family connected by blood, living in the shadows. The properties were not simply symbols of wealth, but sanctuaries, places meant to shield those who could never step into the public eye without destroying everything. The revelation left everyone stunned. Anger mixed with heartbreak. Betrayal collided with sympathy. Suddenly, the silence of the accused made sense. It wasn't arrogance or guilt. It was the heavy burden of a secret too explosive to confess. To protect one side of their life, they had to deceive the other, and in doing so, they lost both. The trial ended, not with a dramatic confession, but with a haunting truth that no sentence could fully resolve. Families fractured, reputations crumbled, and yet, beneath the wreckage, there was a strange sense of clarity. Secrets, no matter how deeply buried, have a way of rising to the surface, and when they do, they reshape everything in their path. In the end, the hidden island wasn't just a property, it was a symbol, a reminder that what we hide in the shadows eventually defines us more than what we show in the light. Some called it betrayal, others called it sacrifice, but everyone agreed it was unforgettable. And maybe that's the true lesson here. We live in a world where appearances are crafted, where truth is often edited and hidden. But the real test of character is not how well you can hide your secrets, it's how willing you are to live in the open, even when the truth is difficult. As the story closed, the family was left to pick up the pieces. Trust, once broken, could never be fully restored. But perhaps, in the wreckage, there was a chance for honesty to finally take root. The island still stood, quiet and beautiful, but no longer a sanctuary. Now, it was a monument to choices, to secrets, and to the cost of silence. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful, thought-provoking stories like this one. Every day, we bring you tales that reveal just how much truth hides behind the masks people wear. And remember, sometimes the greatest message we can take from these stories is this: live honestly, because the shadows will always find their way into the light.